Hello, and welcome back to River City Runs Red, our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle here on Restless Barbarian Gaming. I'm your storyteller, Aloysius, and it's the season finale, everybody.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Gonna deal with the aftermath of the trauma that happened last session. But before we get into that, I will have all my players introduce themselves in a counterclockwise fashion, starting with Tom.
Are we still lovely?
Maybe.
Okay, I just want to make sure nothing had changed. So
yes.
Hey,
no. You're all still lovely in my eyes.
Oh, you have a cat over there, huh?
I do indeed have a cat over here. She has
Just
made her
tail.
presence. She has made
The
her
tail
presence
going, where are
known.
you? Oh, so cute.
Incredible.
my name is Tom, Bolthra on the internet. I'm not as cute as that cat, but I do have my moments. I'm playing Ephrem, who has undergone some severe trauma, and tonight might be acting a little differently than he normally acts, but that'll be a surprise, and can't wait for you to see it.
Oh God, it's me! Whoa,
It
I
is
get to go
you.
second. Hello, I'm Tiara, commonly go by T. I am playing Yvaine, Big Money Mallory, who was absent last week, but for good reasons. I go by Devour Your Fear on Blue Sky Social, so you can find me there if you miss me after the season finale. But yeah, looking forward to more trauma. more.
Yep. All right, I'm Jen. I'm playing Delilah Cole, who is a Nosferatu with a line of rot going across her head. She's hoping it'll grow flowers, but it hasn't yet. And she's kind of worn out from what happened the day before.
Hello, I'm Pluto. I'm playing Scully, who is the only anarch in a coterie of Camarilla folks, and looks like we are not beating the peace. Like we're looking at a little bit of war. I sure don't want to be in a war, so
Understandable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when last we left off, the majority of 3/4 of the coterie met up with a strike force of both Camarilla and Anarch members to strike at Lorcan, a Magar who has been causing trouble for everybody in the city, really, bringing a lot of unwanted attention, and he was a problem and he had to go. So they all banded together to take him down, which they were successful, but not without casualties and serious bodily harm. Pretty much everybody got injured to some extent, some far worse than others, and there were 2 casualties. One was Ephrem's Mala, Gremory, and the second was Baron Reyes of Ward 2, who died under more mysterious circumstances, as there was a knife that looked like one of Gremory's plunged into her decaying corpse. And everyone left with tensions running pretty high. And that's where we will be picking up the following night, and also a little bit of a disclaimer for people. When we get to Yvaine's section, the beginning will have some dealings with an abusive sire-child relationship. Most of it will be implied, but some of it might get a bit explicit, so if that's not your jam, maybe take a step back for a little bit once we get there. Okay. But we will be starting, well, I guess everyone first is going to have to make me a rouse check,
Okay.
as it is a new night.
Did Ephrem get a chance to feed after his little?
I will leave that to your discretion.
Because right now you're in the back.
I'm at 4
car.
to start off.
Yes, I will leave that to your discretion. If
Yeah.
you were able to get a bite,
I would think somebody
before
probably got him
going.
something. Yeah, I think somebody
Okay.
got him something. So I'd
Yes.
say he's gotten at least one back. So
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Scully was heading.
I
out of
have
town.
failed. I
Okay.
am now at 3 hunger.
All right.
Goes
Awesome.
par for the course now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
Yes.
I'll roll it for you, Jen.
Thanks. I can't remember right now because, yeah, you know.
Yes. And Scully, I remember you were looking
You
pretty rough as well, correct? As far as hunger goes.
Yeah, I was at 4, but we have rolled a 9 on that, so we're.
We
should be
love to
good.
see it.
And she was heading towards the outskirts of town, so with that, for hunting purposes. So
Yes. Okay.
mark off 1 hunger on that. For that, or
I'd say, for sake of brevity, you could have found a quick snack on your way to meet up with Florian.
maybe.
So,
Alright,
so you can slake one if you would like.
okay.
Ephraim failed. He's back to 4.
Okay.
Well, as Tiara said, when it rains, it pours.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
But we will be starting out with Scully. Scully, you met up with Florian the night before and was crashing at his place, if I recall correctly.
Mhm.
All right. So, Florian's place is, it's nothing super extravagant or anything. It's a very, modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, living room. But it's all, very pristine and well put together. And sort of when you rouse for the evening, you hear TV playing on from the living room as Florian let you use his bed while he took the couch.
What a gentleman! Wow. Yeah, I mean, Scully's gonna go ahead and wander on out there. I assume still pretty fucked up. Haven't done any healing yet.
Yeah.
So,
Still not looking great.
yeah. But she's gonna wander on out there and kind of lean on the back of the couch and go, if it weren't for how shit I feel, I'd say that I feel more alive than I have in years.
Yeah, you don't look good.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me crash, by the way.
Yeah, like I said, anytime. But, it kind of looks like you needed it.
Yeah.
So, I know I was kind of avoiding it last night, sort of giving you some space, but what the fuck happened exactly?
Well, the guy that did all that weird liquefying business.
Yeah.
We got him. So that's
You got
good.
him.
Yeah. Which it just kind of lifts up shirt a little bit. As you can see, he got us pretty
Ooh.
good too. But she's kind of weighing her words right here because it's don't really. Florian is a bit of a gossip,
He can be, yes.
but at the same time, how fast will it be to spread? We let her stay over, so I think she's gonna go. Baron Reyes is dead, so.
And when you say that, he sort of just mutes the TV. like
Final death.
fine. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna cost some power and structure in the city.
It certainly is, and well, we were working with the cam to get it, so
Yeah, that doesn't look great for sure.
yeah, it's not exactly the best situation. But I'm having a hard time thinking that any of the cam actually did it, despite all of. Yeah. Whoever killed her used something one of the cam had on them, but they died, so as well, so they. No, it doesn't really exactly line up. Kill one of the barons and then decide to just head on out. I mean, that is one way to avoid a problem, but
Yeah, I guess I can see both sides to it, but it is suspicious, to say the least.
yeah.
But also, the masses might not really care how suspicious it is, you know?
I figure that regardless, you're probably gonna hear it one way or another. I'm certain that Opal's probably already said something. At least the other War 2 members, and that'll spread. So
Yeah. I wonder if she's gonna make a play, or if someone else is already making moves. Because word about that sort of thing's gonna get around fast.
she seemed pretty distraught. Seemed pretty loyal to the brightness, so don't know how quickly she'll move. But who knows? Grief didn't make you do some crazy shit, so
Yeah, you're not wrong. Do you need, like, a snack or anything so you can maybe fix this up a little bit?
I was planning on going out for a full course meal, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
So I was gonna say I got some rats, but I don't know if they're to taste for you.
They're okay. They're not exactly the best, but in a pinch, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they're your emergency rations, I don't exactly want to.
Oh no. You know, like they'll do, but they're not my preference. You know.
Yeah.
It's more just like a in case of emergency sort of deal.
I suppose I can be a bit of a mouser for tonight. So. And then, if I have the chance, I'll probably see about heading out, getting something better, considering I don't think it's good to go out with such obvious marks. So.
Yeah, I mean, like even once you fix yourself up, it'll probably take a while to fix all that, respectfully. But you know, a little bit if you know you're going traipsing in the wilderness or whatever, then you don't really gotta care what people, what you look like to people out that way anyway. But yeah, let me go get you those rats. It wanders off, and he comes back, and he comes back with a cage of about like 10 rats scurrying about in them, and sort of just like places the cage on the table in front of you.
We're about to. This is like going through a pack of Capri Suns.
Yeah.
Maybe an awful comparison, but you know. All right. So let's see. That should be 1 hunger. It's like.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then rolling for healing aggravated damage. I don't remember how that
Yes.
works. I know it's a rouse check. But...
Yes, superficial damage is 1 rouse check, but in order to heal an aggravated, you need to make 3 rouse checks.
Awesome. Cool. So, I mean, as long as I don't fail all 3, that's, a little concerning. But
Yeah, knock on wood.
knock on wood. Ooh, we got a 10. We love to see it. A 6. And last one. A 4. Okay, so I got 1 hungrier.
Yep, you get a little bit hungrier, but pretty good, all things considered. And some of the shrapnel wounds begin to close, and some of the burned flesh begins to sort of scab over and heal. So you're looking better, but
Yay.
definitely not 100% still.
Yeah.
This will
Might need
definitely be a multi-night process for sure.
At work, they're going to think that she's just been really sick the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I don't
See, looking better already.
Yeah, that definitely feels better. Have been better, but one step up. So, I assume that you guys, the cleaning crews, haven't been called out to.
I have not been called out yet. No. I'm sure I probably will be unless they want to, take care of this in-house. So,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Wonder if we got into the human news at all. The live people news. Obviously not that, but pretty sure a lot of things got fucked up in there, so.
Yeah. I'm sure there's talk, but, to my knowledge, it hasn't gotten out yet. I'm sure, whoever's in charge of the domain is doing everything to stop people from asking too many questions or keeping people away from the scene.
Not so long. Oh. I don't want to eat and bounce, but I should probably start seeing about hunting, and then maybe talking to the other people that were there tonight.
Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah. But, like I said, you need to crash anytime. Feel free.
Thank you. Same. I'll extend the same to you. So.
Cool. Well, I'll be here for a little bit anyway. It was good seeing you, even if you're all fucked up right now.
Good seeing you too. Hopefully I'll look a little more pleasant the next time we see each other.
I'm sure you will.
I hope she got face masks in her truck or something. That would be helpful. But yeah, Scully's gonna go out and do some proper hunting.
Alright, sounds good. Then make me I believe it was...
Survival hunting. Yes. Sure. And
I believe it was composure and composure and survival. That's what it was.
I love having specialties. Okay.
Don't you dare. Stop it.
considered hunting. I was like, I must start causing problems.
You're losing lap privileges if you keep that up.
Kitty cat. Aw.
Yeah.
Let's see. That is unfortunately only 2 successes. So
2 successes. All right. Yeah. So, did you choose to continue out of town in order to find something?
yeah.
Okay. I'd say with that, you managed to stumble upon a fox, which should probably net you about 1 hunger or so. But not really having too much luck tonight outside of that.
Mhm. Yeah. I think Scully's plan right now is to hang out, like, kind of out of town. As she heals up, continue crashing at Florian's place, if possible. Depends on how healed up she is by the end of tonight. But besides that, I did say that she was probably going to try to get in contact with Yvaine, and Yvaine has her own thing to get through.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
going to be
but
a while anyway.
Yeah, but you can feel free to message Yvaine if you want.
Yeah. She'll probably go ahead and send Yvaine a message, like something along the lines of, "Did you hear about what's happened? Would like to talk." But, yeah. Very ominous. Sorry, Yvaine. I know that your things are happening over there, but
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we will transition over to Delilah.
Okay, so Delilah is trying to keep her composure because that was the worst fight she'd ever been in. And she's kind of like, what am I going to do? So she tries to sleep, wakes up, and then starts pulling the shrapnel out of her body that got attached to it. So,
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's
You managed to
doing that.
you managed to pull like a couple pieces of sort of like glass and like wood splinters and that sort of thing
Right,
out of your
yeah.
body,
Mhm.
but the like actual sort of like main bits of shrapnel itself, there doesn't appear to be any sort of like debris in those wounds.
Oh, good.
Because it seemed like whatever caused them was caused by like the substance in the bottle itself, as opposed to
Okay. Mhm.
as opposed to any like physical shrapnel or anything.
Okay. So she's kind of, pulling those out and dumping them in a little jar, because why not?
Yeah,
Throw them out when I'm done.
Yep, little souvenirs for the time being.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what she's doing.
All
And
right.
She might be hungry.
Yes. And how's she looking on how damaged she is?
As in, like, she can see it, she can pull stuff out, but she's kind of
but I mean, like on your character sheet, like how?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
5 aggravated. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, do that.
Okay. Would you like to try and start mending some of that, or are you sort of just gonna deal for the time being?
She's gonna try to fix it.
Okay. And I will need 3 rouse checks from Delilah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
You gonna do that for me? Thank you.
Yep. 1 success.
Okay.
Second one. Success.
Wow.
Nice.
Third one. Success.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So she's all good now. She's like taking
Well,
all these
yeah,
things
she's
out.
not all good, but
I mean, she's a Nosferatu. They're very strong. They're
But
consistent
that
at
burns
getting
blood,
things done.
so-
yeah.
Oh, it
Yes.
does? Okay. So what
But
do I do with that?
yeah, so she does not get any hungrier. Apparently, very deft at fixing oneself.
Mhm.
So definitely not 100% by any means, but you do manage to heal up some of the damage that was done to you last night.
Just
Okay.
1 point, right?
Yep, just one aggravated.
Okay.
One aggravated? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I fixed it on your sheet.
Oh, thank you.
Where those little X's are under health,
Uh-huh.
if it's an X, that means it's aggravated. So.
Okay.
And then she has one like bashing or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Superficial.
Superficial, excuse me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I can't find the I've got a character sheet here, but I can't remember how to do it. So,
What are you looking to do?
I know that there's like something I clicked on the last time we played with it had like all the stats on it, and I don't know how to pick that up.
It's at the very top of your sheet.
Okay.
If you see right under the words Delilah Cole, there's like a little, looks like a chart. It just says stats.
Just says stats?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have trouble with this. Yeah.
On the left-hand side, right underneath the words Delilah Cole.
Okay.
I'll roll for you tonight.
Yeah, do it. I can't do
No
it.
problem. No problem. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
I think she's kind of done. I think she's still kind of traumatized from what had happened. So
Yeah. So she's kind of just sitting and processing.
yeah, she's like sitting on her bed going, like leave me alone now, people. You know?
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. Then in that case, we will move on over to Ephrem, who is also dealing with some trauma.
Oh yes.
When he awoke for the evening, he shot straight up. And he's looking around. And he is very hungry. He's at 4 hunger.
Okay.
While he is still kind of trying to process what happened, he's also very angry and very hungry.
All right.
He's going to reach over and like grab his phone with like a shaky hand. Dial Jose.
All right. And Jose answers like, "Oh, hey, dude, you made it. So how'd it go last night?
I need you.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll be right there.
Come. Bring one of my friends. Please.
LA, what do you mean by one of your friends?
One of the E's. Click.
Oh. Okay. All right. And so maybe about 20 minutes later, you get a knock on your door.
Okay. He's managed to just put on like some track pants and just like a hoodie, like a blue Lions hoodie. Just comes to the door. Still has his sunglasses on, and he'll open up the door.
All right. You open up the door and you see Jose, and you see a young, attractive 20-something who you recognize as Whitney.
Whitney, okay.
From the club.
He's gonna like say, "Let's go for a ride."
Oh, okay. And
he's just gonna like not let them in. He's just like,
oh, okay.
Like basically like gonna kind of step out into the hallway with them. He's like,
and Jose doesn't say anything, but he's in. He's got a sort of face going on, being like, "Okay, so this is not good," and he sort of just like makes sure your place is all closed and locked up.
What he wants to do is take them to Jose's car, and he's gonna get in the back with Whitney.
All right. Okay. So exactly what Jose thought was going to happen. So hey, Jose hops in the driver's seat, and he sort of like turns back to you as you climb in the car next to Whitney, and he says, "So where to, Chief?"
Just cruising for now. I want to have a talk with Whitney. I haven't
Okay.
seen her in a while.
All right, fair enough. And he turns back around, starts the car, and just starts driving.
Without much preamble, he's just going to turn at Whitney, and she's going to put his hand out, and he's just like feel her chin, and like kind of just runs his hand down to her neck a little bit. And he's like, "I haven't seen you in a while."
Yeah, it has been a bit. I haven't really seen you at the club or anything.
No, been busy.
Yeah, I miss your sets.
And he's gonna pull her close and just chomp.
All right.
So.
Yes, hello. She's just doing the paw reach out thing.
Yeah.
Animal interruption. My bird does that. She'll land on my head right here, and then I'll have to move her.
Okay, so I am going to need you, before we get on with this whole feeding business, I'm going to need you to make me a willpower roll.
Sounds excellent. Three successes.
3 successes. Okay, you managed to maintain your composure as you sink your teeth into her neck and begin to feed. How much do you plan to feed off of her?
Just 1 point. Not gonna kill her. Just 1 point. Gonna lick the wound when he's done.
You could go 2 if you would like, and she'd still be, okay.
If I can take 2, then I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You can take 2.
And that gets me just too hungry then. Okay.
Yeah, you can take 2 without giving her like a medical emergency.
Okay. And then
she does get, she does get woozy, and she's sort of just like, starts like, swaying and really just like leaning in and all that.
And he'll say, "Jose, I need you to drop me at this address." And he'll give the address for the coterie house.
Okay.
And then after that, he wants him to take Whitney somewhere, get her some apple juice or whatever, just to get her levels back up, and then just take her wherever she wants to go.
Okay. Sure thing.
And when he gets dropped off, he's gonna just like lean in and put his hand on Jose's shoulder, be like, "Thank you."
Yeah, no problem. And sort of like as he's about to get back in the car, he sort of turns it to you and just says, Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay at all. There's been some changes in management, I'll put it that way.
Okay.
But you're my right-hand man still.
Okay. I'm here whenever. I got your back.
You're a good friend. That's the first time he's probably ever used that word.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'd say you would see a look of shock on Jose's face.
Yeah.
Like,
and then he's gonna just turn and he'll start walking towards the house.
Okay, and Jose will, without saying anything, just climb back in the car and drive off with Whitney.
Okay. And he does have a key to the house, but he's generally been knocking when he gets there.
He does indeed have a key to the house.
This time he just goes up, opens the door, and just lets himself in. So probably Delilah, you probably hear someone enter the house.
Right. So she's like, I don't know, doing like the Jedi thing and trying to heal, and this thing, and then somebody's pounding on the door. I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So she's going
just meditating in her room.
He didn't knock. He didn't do anything. He just walked up, unlocked the door, and walked in.
Okay.
So did not. So and then just flops down on the couch. Probably clicks on the TV.
Sports stuff, I guess.
And no,
No.
he's
huh?
actually flipping around, and he
Days
finds
of our lives.
well, it'll be nights of our lives at that point.
It would be that.
No, he probably finds like something on like Nat Geo, like something about like animals hunting in the Serengeti, we'll say.
Okay.
And he
Okay,
just
that
sits and
seems
is just
sensible
watching
enough.
this documentary. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, and you eventually sort of like flip to a channel and you just see an image of a lion taking down a zebra.
he enjoys watching that. So
Okay.
he just still has his hood up, sunglasses on. So,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Ephraim, what happened to you yesterday?
He's gonna look up. I saw an angel. I saw an angel fight the devil.
I'm a little confused. Can you tell me more about that?
He takes off his sunglasses and says, you don't have the sight, so you wouldn't have been able to see it.
Ah, okay. Good to know.
But I could teach you someday if you want.
I'm not sure I have that in me, you know, but I'll think about it.
I think the devil's dead now.
Okay. This sounds like Morse code or something, but are you talking about the one that was having those glass bottles and throwing them?
Yeah, Lorcan.
Okay, Lorcan. All right, now I understand.
He's
He
the
looks at the
devil.
He's the devil?
Well,
Okay.
he's one of his minions, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Enjoy your stream of animals killing each other, and I'm gonna go and get a little more rest.
Okay. I'll be here if you need me.
Okay. I will definitely do that. She goes back downstairs into the basement where her room is, you know, so she's just
And-
kind of going, what is happening now? You know?
And we'll just sit there and watch TV till
Delilah's like, I didn't sign up for any of the weirdness that is going on right now.
No. On her way down the
Alright.
stairs, she's picking out the glass and
All right.
strong.
Okay. Well then, in that case, we will now switch over to Yvaine.
Hi.
Yvaine, you wake up in a very cozy looking smoking lounge on one of the couches in there. There are, a few new bruises on your arms and maybe on your shoulders and in that area. And you also have a leftover scratch from one of Frey's claws from the night before. And you wake up in this room by yourself.
Okay. Gonna just kind of sit up. And is it pretty dark in this room?
I'd say the lights had been dimmed, but you can still see perfectly fine in the room.
Okay. Is there like any clock or anything? Or like do I have like my cell phone on me? Am I able to check to figure out what time it is?
You do not have your phone or your pager on you, but you do but there's a clock in the room that says about 8:30.
Okay. Is this a similar room that I've been in for like a couple of nights or whatever?
I would say like the past 24 hours or so, you'd been confined to this space.
Okay. I guess what I mean is, Is this where I am waking up after like being out and about? Or have I been moved to this room from a different area in whatever place I am?
To your knowledge, this is the same room from when you first arrived here.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. So like the night
yes.
previous and then to this night, so 24 hours. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. What time does the clock currently say?
It says 8:30.
8:30? Okay. Is there like anything else in this room with me? Like I don't see anyone else.
There are no other people. There are several luxurious-looking couches and chairs. There are a few tables with hookahs placed on them. There appear to be sort of like boxes with cigars in them. So this appears to be, some sort of smoking lounge. Yeah, smoking lounge at presumably the club that Frey operates out of.
Okay. Is there like only one door to this room, or is there like multiple doors to this room?
There is
And
only.
Oh yeah.
There is only one door.
Okay. Am I unbound? Like, am I free to move?
Yep, you are entirely free to move.
Okay. Would that have been the case prior as well? Like, the only restraint was just being locked in this room?
Correct.
Okay. I think, if I'm being so honest, I think that there's like a level of trepidation because it's like why am I just here alone, and is it as simple as like going to the door and trying to get out, or is it locked? But I do think that after like a minute or so, she is going to try I'm gonna go to the door and see if I'm able to turn the knob.
All right. You turn the knob, and it moves unrestricted.
Oh, that makes me feel worse. Okay. I'm gonna kind of like do like just like a turnaround, viewing like the room to, like kind of towards the ceilings. Like, are there any cameras in here?
There do not appear to be any cameras in here. There's sort of like a chandelier, like in the center of the room, but there's no there doesn't appear to be any cameras or anything like that.
Okay. I'm gonna just open the door
Okay.
quietly.
Mhm.
But I think that like I'm gonna be bracing to see, like bracing for the possibility that somebody is behind the door, essentially.
All right. So you turn, and you slowly open the door, and there does not appear to be anybody there.
Okay. If she looks out, is it just kind of like a hallway?
Yeah, it's sort of like an L. It's sort of like a short L-shaped hallway. So when you like peek out to your left, there are a few other doors that look like they would lead to sort of like similar styled rooms. And then directly ahead of you, there's sort of like an open doorway with curtains, just sort of like draped down, sort of like velvety looking curtains.
Okay. So essentially, like, if I go down this hallway, am I needing to go through the velvety curtains to even try and like get out of this place?
That would seem likely, yes. Because if the other rooms are styled similar to the one that you were just in, then there won't be any windows in those ones,
Right.
to your knowledge anyway.
Right. Okay. Yvaine, in this situation, I think feels very. I think that there's kind of like a feeling like this, like it's not gonna be that easy. This feels like a test, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side of that, I think that she wants to get out of here so bad that almost like takes back seat. And she's kind of like stepping out and she's racking her brain for like, what, like, am I gonna need to like try and fight? I can't really fight. I don't have any way to like contact anyone. So I think she'll kind of step back into the room and she's gonna look to see if there's like anything that she can use as like a makeshift weapon even. Because I think she just like, she wants to leave. She wants to leave like very badly. And I don't know if there's like a pool table in here or something, or like just anything that can be used as like a blunt weapon if she has to.
Yeah, we could say there's like you can grab like a pool cue off the wall.
Okay, because she's not sure about like if she runs into. Has she already? I know she's seen like the like humans, right? But has she seen? Like, has she talked to her sire at all?
I would say they would have seen each other the beginning of the previous night, but then after Yvaine was defiant.
Stubborn.
Yeah. I'd say he would have just left her to the ghouls.
Okay. I think she's like, maybe potentially I could fight the ghouls, even though like they may have some abilities of their own. She's a little less certain about prey. This has never been like something she's had to be concerned about before. So she'll grab the pool cue. And I think she's just gonna try and like quietly skulk down the hallway, and see if she hears like any voices coming from the like room with the velvet curtains.
All right, you sort of like keep an ear out. You can make me a wits awareness roll if you would like.
Okay. Let's see. She has none of that. Okay. Well, let's see. I was like, maybe the universe will feel nice. I got no successes.
Okay.
I got no successes.
All right, you do not hear anything coming from behind the curtain.
Cool. Oh, wait. Actually, hold on.
Naturally.
Oh, wait, no, that was to listen and see if she heard anything. Damn. I was going to... You know what, though? She is going to use Silence of Death.
Okay.
which is a free, so she need to make a rouse check for that.
Yep.
Just so that she's not
silence
making
her
noise.
footsteps and all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And she's going to I mean, there's really no. The problem is there's nowhere else to go. She's gonna kind of like. Is the room very bright, or is it kind of got that same dim?
It also appears to be dimmed beyond the curtain, because as you would know, Frey has never really been a fan of very bright lights.
Mm-hmm. Considering that, like, this is the club Frey's been operating out of, Yvaine's probably been here before. Maybe not in the back rooms. I'm not sure about that, but just like kind of in this more main area. Would she be aware of like a little bit of the layout? Like, would she know if it even makes sense to try and sneak through the room, if that's possible, or is it just like there's nothing to really hide behind, you might as well kind of walk out?
Yeah. You have definitely seen this curtain before, sort of like from the other side. And sort of where this curtain is positioned, unless someone is sort of on like the absolute far end of the sort of like main hub area, then it's kind of hard to like sneak out of here, especially if seemingly there are little to no people here currently.
Right. Okay. I think with that, she just is gonna kind of be like, okay, I don't hear anything. And most likely, I'm sure someone is probably somewhere in here. There's no way I'm just gonna be able to walk out of here, so I might as well just go. And so she's just gonna try and steel herself, and she'll cross through the curtains.
All right, you cross through the curtains and sort of like look around, and by and large, the hub area looks devoid of anybody, with
What the fuck?
with the exception of what appears to be Frey sitting in a chair, facing the curtain with a book in his hand, sort of flipping through the pages, and then he looks up as he notices the movement and says, you decided to come out. And he then like slams the book closed and puts it on the table next to him. Does that mean you learned your lesson?
Yvaine says nothing. I think she's just staring at him, kind of in the same way that a prey animal stares at a predator that's got it cornered.
And then he'll say, well, in that case, you are free to leave, but... And he pulls your phone and your pager out of his suit jacket pocket and puts them on the table next to him and says, don't forget these.
She has to like go and grab them. Oh my god. I think she doesn't make a move. And she's just kind of staring. She like glances between the phone and the pager on the table, and then at Frey. Can I try and get a read on underlying emotions? He's acting very calm, and I don't think that she trusts it.
Uh-huh. Sure, make me a wits insight roll.
Okay. She got 2 successes.
2 successes. You do know that unless personally you know that Frey only ever feels like this composed or like appears this composed when he feels like he's in total control of a situation. Other than his like underlying motives and reasonings behind that you can't really gauge right now, but
right, because I feel like at this point she probably is thinking like he feels in control, like maybe he thinks he scared me enough into like essentially scared me straight sort of thing. Because essentially it's just been like dealing with the ghouls and whatnot. So I think she's like, does he think like that was enough to like scare me? Because like, sure, I'm not the bravest person, and I don't deal with pain very well. I think maybe she's hoping that like, sure, like that maybe that checks out. Like maybe I can skirt by this situation and get out of here. So I think she kind of slowly walks up to the table.
Okay.
She's keeping her eyes on Frey. And then she's gonna kind of like bend down a little bit to go and grab them.
Yeah. And sort of like as you're keeping an eye on him, he's just smiling, content at you. And
I hate him.
and as you go and grab your phone and pager, he grabs your arm, and you see his teeth elongate into almost like serpentine fangs, and
her blood. I don't know that this is a thing that Kindred can actually feel, but her blood goes cold and she immediately starts to like try and yank away.
All right, make me a strength and brawl roll real quick.
I don't think I have either of those things. I think I have like maybe once. Hold on. How much strength do I have? 1 strength and no brawl. Jesus. Well, gang. It's a 2. I failed.
It's a 2. Okay. You like try and like wrench your arm away as he latches onto you, but you cannot break free as he sinks his fangs into your arm very quickly. But you don't feel him sort of like feed from you. It almost feels like he leaves something behind, and it is a similar sensation to something you have felt from him before, and it is only a moment, but it feels much longer than that as he lets go both fangs and hand. His fangs recede back to normal, and he then looks at you and says, "Well, you are free to go. I just wanted you to know that you can never truly get away from me."
Right when I fucking get you. Oh, sorry. I think Yvaine's going to yank her, like, before, like, she just has dropped her phone and
Mhm.
her pager, and she essentially yanks her arm back like she's been burned.
Mhm.
But also because of the nature of it, right?
Mhm.
I guess I have a question.
Yes.
Does she immediately start to feel the change from like what the fuck to like, well, I suppose it's okay, like he's my sire, like
It's not necessarily that dramatic of a shift. It's more just like you feel yourself naturally drawn to him more. And so
okay.
because of
then
that feeling, you may try and rationalize what happened to yourself, or you can go the exact opposite and have like two
And you said this is a
polarizing
familiar
feeling.
feel. If she realizes this is a familiar feeling that she has
Yes.
felt before,
Yes.
right when I fucking get you, God, I think she like, and he didn't have a chance to like close it, yeah. Or did he close it?
I would say no. I would say, yeah, since he like let go, you would have been able to like pull your arm away before he would have been able to do that.
I think she like looks at her arm and is staring at the wound for a moment, and I think that this start of realization settles in, but she doesn't say anything. I think she's going to hastily like grab I think she's going to like hastily grab at the first thing she can, which I think is the pager and not the cell phone.
Okay.
And then I think she's going to run out of there.
Okay. And as you run out, you don't hear anything from behind you, and you just run out into the night.
Her first thought, as soon as like the outside air hits her, is where is a safe place to go? I know that we talked about this off stream. Yes. I believe that she was probably grabbed from her actual apartment. So I think that in her mind has now become an unsafe place to be. And so her thought goes like, she's gonna go to the coterie house. But I guess my question for you is, would she get there before running into like the next night, like Ephrem and Delilah being up and about, or like Ephrem coming over the next night? Because I think Delilah probably went back to the coterie that same night after the battle, right, to rest, but Ephrem seemed to have gone home.
So timeline wise, you would be able to get there before Ephrem arrived, but Delilah would be there.
Okay. Would Delilah be upstairs when Yvaine like essentially bursts into the house? She's going to be like, she would be like I honestly do think that she would be struggling to get the key in the door, so like it is very possible that Delilah might hear somebody fiddling with the lock.
Yeah. Seemingly, she's been meditating in the basement to
Oh, maybe not. Okay.
She's got like a
to calm
wall
herself
of
down.
books and, shelves and things like that.
Okay.
And this would be like the second or third time that she's not gotten the chance to actually meditate. So she's just going to come upstairs and be like, somebody else is at the door.
Well, this is before Ephrem.
This is
would have
before
shown up.
Ephrem.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So
So this might actually even be when you're doing your healing.
Oh, that could be that too. Yeah.
Right. Then I think she tries to let herself in, and she's like immediately going to just make a beeline for her room.
Okay.
And I think she is pacing, and I think there is the gnawing understanding that like some of the feelings that I felt in terms of admiration or affection for Frey may not have been me, but whatever thing he just did to me again. And just like this time, it's more clear because I very obviously acted in a way that he disapproved of.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like his parting words of like, essentially, like, you'll never be able to be free of me, essentially, which is extremely fucked up. So I think that she's gonna try and page Merrick.
Yes. And when you check your pager, you'll see you have. You'll see you have 3 messages. Or I guess I should say messages from 3 people.
Okay.
The first is Merrick from the night before, asking where you are, is everything okay? The second is from Hassan, a few hours after the one from Merrick, saying, are you okay? And the third one is from tonight, and it's from Scully.
Okay. Oh, what does the one from Scully say?
I was basically asking if the 2 of you were able to talk, right?
Okay.
Yeah. That and like if she can meet up, which I doubt that Scully's gonna get a reply to that, but
okay. She will first page Merrick and say, are you able to meet? Are you okay?
And you'll he'll get a message back to you saying, could be worse, but don't think I'll be able to meet up for a little bit. And then you'll get a follow-up message saying things are messy and complicated right now.
Oh, that's so fair. And still, when you are about to panic, the way you react is just gonna sometimes it's gonna be rough. So I think she's kind of staring at that and probably shaking. She's not mad at him for saying that. I think she's kind of in that mindset of like, I feel like something is wrong with me right now, and I don't know what to do, but also I cannot reach out to this person because apparently they are dealing with something. You know. And God, I feel bad because she worked so hard on it. She doesn't need to breathe, but essentially, like, I think it's kind of just like the anxiety, like like muscle memory. When you have a severe panic attack, I think her body remembers that feeling, so she's breathing extremely hard. I think she probably starts sweating, and of course it's like little droplets of blood starting to show, like prickle on her skin. And I think that she drops the pager and she's like, you just have to calm down. You have to calm down. And it like, she is holding herself and it is not working. And she, I think that there's so many feelings inside right now that it needs an outlet, and she is going to start destroying her room at the coterie. She's going to, I think the first thing, she grabs the first thing next to her, maybe like her computer chair, and she's gonna throw it, like swing it at the like closet in the corner or something. And then she's going to essentially like throw the computer from the desk and up in the computer desk table. She's just trying to funnel this this feeling of pain and anger into something, and that's coming out very destructive right now. And I think that this ends with her just kind of like, I think she's gonna honestly end up kind of, I think she's gonna kind of like end up sitting on the ground, and she's gonna pick up the pager again. And I think she just sends out another page, says, I need help. Please. Please, please, please. And hit send. And you know who that's going to. I think she is sending that to the second person who messaged her.
Okay.
She is sending that to Hassan. And then I think she just essentially, she wants to scream. She doesn't know if anyone's here. And so I think she just kind of ends up like, essentially like, honestly think she ends up biting into her own arm to try and like muffle the scream that she lets out. Like she's crying. Like this is a lot.
And shortly after, you get a message from Hassan just saying, "Where are you?"
She's just gonna message back, like, coterie house.
Okay. And he'll message back about a minute or two later, and just say, "Be there in 10 or less."
Okay. She's essentially just not even gonna move from the spot. She's just, yeah. I don't even know if she sees the be there in 10 minutes or less. I think she's just kind of at the end of her rope.
Okay. And about 10 minutes go by, and you get another message saying outside.
Okay.
Want me to come in, or do you want to come out?
I'm just trying to think about if she has the energy to even respond at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a such thing as a sadness frenzy. But that's what this feeling is. Oh boy. I don't think that she responds to that message. If I'm being quite honest, I don't think she does. I think she's just on the floor in that room.
All right. Then in that case, a couple minutes go by since the message, and Ephrem, you're lazing about on the couch, and you hear a knock on the door.
Go get up and answer it.
All right, you get up, and yep, I would say you get up and you open the door, and Hassan is standing before you.
And he will take a step back. And I would like to scry the soul on Hassan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because
this can't be good. The scourge is at our house.
Okay, let's see. Scry the soul. So I need you to make me intelligence plus aspects.
Yeah.
And a rouse check.
And a rouse check. Oh, sure, why not? Let me do the rouse check first.
Good thing you got those 2 hunger taken. Right?
Failed.
Oh no.
All right, so you get a little bit hungrier.
Okay. Because now that he's seen Hassan, the last time he saw him, he had angel wings and was wielding the fiery swords and striking down the devil. So
That is fair. Yeah.
I want to take another look at him now. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
Awesome. 1.
All right. Would you like to use a willpower to try and get more, or are you calling it good there?
Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely spend the willpower.
All right.
So I am rolling. How many more?
You can re-roll up to 3 non-hunger dice.
No successes.
All right. No extra successes, so just the 2?
Yeah, just the 2.
All right. So that means you can learn up to 2 things off of the aura. You can learn his emotional state.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn the resonance in his blood. I'm going to scratch that one because you already know that he's a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn if he's under the influence of blood sorcery or other magic. And if he has committed diablerie in the last year.
The sorcery, is he, so it's, I can tell if he's used any kind of sorcery.
You can tell if he's under the influence of any blood sorcery or like external magics or anything like that.
Because that would go along with him, can he be trusted? Is he the angel that I saw last night?
Mm-hmm.
And then the resonance of his aura.
Okay. So as for if he's under the influence of any external magics or anything like that, you're not seeing anything. His aura appears clean of outside influence.
Good.
And as for the resonance in his blood, currently it is choleric.
Okay. He took kind of the step back and then kind of shifts a little bit and says, Scourge, come on in.
Thank you. He'll walk in and close the door behind him. And he's dressed in much more casual clothes right now. like currently it looks like he's just in like a muscle tee and a sweatshirt and some jeans.
Okay.
Instead of his normal fancy attire.
And he just kind of like shifts away from him. Not fanboying or anything. He's just kind of like taking in what he saw, and he's like, okay, he is pure of heart. So, and then says, what can I do for you?
Is Yvaine here?
And he'll just
she said she was here.
point upstairs.
Okay. And he'll look over in the direction of the stairs, and he'll sort of like give you a polite bow and say, thank you.
Okay.
And he'll head towards the stairs.
Okay.
And he heads on up, and he finds the closed door and gives a knock on the door. And Yvaine, you hear a knock at your door, and he just says, "It's Hassan."
Okay. Can I inflict a roll on myself?
Maybe.
I
That depends
think
on the roll, I guess.
I need like I feel like, given what she's currently feeling, I'm not sure if she has the composure to be like, come in. Let me think about this. You know what? Maybe talking is hard for her right now. So she'll hear the knock, she'll hear him. She'll just page it's open.
Okay. You page, it's open. And he opens the door, and he sees you laying on the floor, and your room is in a total mess, and he quickly shuffles in and closes the door behind him, and hurries over to you and crouches down, and hesitates for a second, and then sort of gently places a hand on your shoulder, and he says, "What happened?"
I think she's probably facing away from him when he comes in. And obviously she was in no state to try and fix up anything that has happened in terms of the bruises or the mark on her face or anything. She just simply came here and crashed out, for lack of a more polite term. And so I'm gonna keep it 100. Yvaine will turn to look at Hassan. I don't even think she's crying anymore. I mean, I do think there's probably blood stains on her cheeks from when she was crying. when she looks at him, and I cannot stress this enough because I think one thing about Yvaine, she is very expressive, and she always has been because she's a very easily nervous person. Her eyes look fucking dead.
Yeah. And he sort of just like sees your general demeanor and like the cut on your cheek and the bruises, and like he immediately has this sort of like combination of like pissed and worry, and he just says, "Who did this? What happened?"
And Yvaine is just gonna kind of like glance off to the side quietly for a moment, and then just like, I tried to stand up for myself and it didn't go well.
And without sort of like probing on that further, he just says, "Let me help," and he sort of like keeping one hand on your shoulder, he sort of like gently cups your face, and if you'll let him, and
she'll definitely flinch, but she won't.
Okay.
I think she'll. I mean, I do think she probably flinches, but I think she'll just kind of sigh and then still.
All right.
And let him touch her.
All right, and sort of like when he touches you, you feel the like cut on your cheek that Frey left begin to close, and your bruises also start to disappear. Is that any better?
Yes. No. And I think she just kind of vaguely gestures at herself and says, I don't think I even really registered any of this.
Let's sit you up, and he'll sort of like try and help you sit up off the floor.
Right. Yeah, she will. She'll sit up. My cat knows that I'm sad about.
Oh no!
He's meowing at me. He's like, wow. But yeah, she will sit up. Sorry, I know you guys can't hear him. He's so loud. I upset Frey. And I guess his disappointment in me was more than I anticipated.
And he sort of like starts gritting his teeth and sort of like clenching his fists before sort of like not immediately giving into whatever impulses he may be feeling. And says, how did this happen?
I was planning to maybe not. I mean, obviously, I'm not much of a fighter, but I was planning to be in the area with everything that was supposed to happen yesterday, and I never quite even made it past my home. Frey had some of his people come and I guess bring me in for a discussion. And so, like, okay, sorry, for my purposes, for player purposes, would Yvaine understand the concept of like a blood bond, or is that something that's never really been explained to her?
I'd say she would have heard like other kindred talk about it and sort of like generally understand the concept, but I don't think that's ever anything that Frey would have like discussed with her.
Right. So it's kind of more like, oh, this is kind of what people were talking about, sort of thing. Okay. Then she will simply say, I guess he believed I was becoming too much of a liability, too independent to what he wanted me to do, whatever that is. It's not as if he ever really gives me much the time of day. But I guess I've just been making too much of a splash. I don't know lately, and he wanted me to, I suppose, prove that I was still loyal to him. I'm not exactly sure what all was running through his mind. And he wanted me to prove that through blood. And I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea, but I said no. That I didn't want to. It felt wrong. Like I didn't want to have to prove myself in some way to him after so long of already doing whatever he wanted. And he didn't take that well. And he continued to not take that well. guess he tried to re-educate me, I suppose, is what he seemed to be getting at. And then tonight he said he was going to let me leave, and when I went to try and grab my stuff so that I could, he, I don't know, he did something. He bit me, and I all I ever wanted was for him to acknowledge me. I just, even just like even just a small look in my direction for so long, he was like the sun, more amazing than the sun itself, and I was willing to do anything at all for him. And then in that moment, I realized that some of that, I don't know if any of that was ever really me or something he just did to me so that I could be another one of his toys to play with. And that hurts, and I know it's silly to feel that way after all this time, but it's agonizing. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. And I think I think that like the tears kind of involuntarily start up again.
And he'll sort of silently just place his hand on top of yours and gently squeeze it. I doubt there's anything I can say to help you in this moment, but I am here. I hope you know that.
All right, I think she's gonna just kind of look at Hassan. She's gonna stare Hassan directly into his eyes. And I think that she is just trying to gauge, like, is what he's saying like true, or is he just feeding her bullshit?
Okay.
She's feeling particularly untrusting or distrusting, not untrusting, distrusting right now.
Yeah. Sure, make me a wits insight roll if you would like to.
Okay. I'm trying not to cry. I get very emotional very easily. 3 successes.
3 successes. He does seem very sincere with what he's saying, and you can you have a pretty good feel for people, and you can sort of like looking into his eyes, you can tell that he sort of genuinely means what he is saying, and you know that although what he has gone through is not the same kind of pain, it is a similar pain that you're currently dealing with.
Right. Because they have that talk. Oh my god. I think that in this moment, she... Sorry, the chat is hilarious. I think in this moment, Yvaine is just looking for any kind of solace or just kindness that doesn't come with some kind of caveat that she has to, overcome. She's so used to like anything from Frey came with like a stipulation, right? Came with something that she had to do, fulfill, whatever. And then obviously that was not the case with Merrick, but also Merrick is not here right now. And she's in a very emotionally vulnerable state, and she got two hands. That is correct. Oh my god. Jesus. Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm just like, girl, you gotta talk to people first before this happens, but that's not really possible right now.
Not right now.
Yeah, so I think she's just kind of like, it's a really bad idea, you and me, for all of my musical fans who like The Waitress. I think she's going to take Hassan's hands. Wild. She's going to take Hassan's hands, and I think she just grabs like one hand, and I think she places it to her face, and she just closes her eyes, and she holds it there. Oh, it's a very vulnerable moment, but the ball's in your court, Hassan.
Yeah. And he sort of like just gently caresses your cheek with his thumb, and there's sort of just like, you can sort of just like feel this, he's not saying anything, but you can almost feel this sort of like just tension in the air.
Okay. I have to ask a question.
Yes.
Obviously, okay. I think that, like, the coterie understands that something has happened between Merrick and Yvaine. Because even before they were even closer, they were already hanging out quite a bit.
This is true.
Now,
also you left his shirt buttons all over the floor downstairs, so.
Right. But even though they have been like together going to places and doing things, I don't know if this is something that has been clear in kindred hot goss, right? Yes or no? I mean, people aren't stupid, but
probably not. But I mean, maybe amongst maybe it's made its way to certain people's ears, but clearly not everyone's walking around being like, Yvaine Mallory, she's hooking up with that anarch dude.
Okay. You can. Oh Jesus. Uh. Oh God, Yvaine, are you gonna be like decent, or are you just gonna be like, I'm too far gone right now? Okay, I think Yvaine, because of like where she is emotionally right now,
Mm-hmm.
is just gonna. I'm gonna say that she's gonna lay it all on the table, because it's either she doesn't say anything and just goes for it, or she's just like, listen, here's what's up, but I kind of am wondering if maybe I'm just a terrible fucking person, because right now I'm not trying to say no. No, I'm not trying to say no to this. Not that there's anything wrong with realizing that maybe you have something going on with multiple people. I think she's just like, I've never been in this situation before. Um and I don't know how to navigate it. So she is going to, well, oh my God, why is this happening? She will say, and I can't believe these words are going to come out of her mouth, but Yvaine is just going to, with her eyes still closed, say, I think I want you. And I feel like I need this, but Jesus. But I also have similar feelings for another person. And I don't know if this makes me terrible or mad or stupid, because it doesn't stop me from wanting to reach out to you. But I am trying to hold on to being as decent of a person as I can, because you don't deserve to be used, regardless of how I feel. That's what she'll say.
Okay, and all of this is still with her eyes closed?
Yes, she's afraid to look at him. Oh.
Okay.
But I do think that her hands are kind of like, she's still holding on to his hand, but they're definitely kind of trembling, because she's just like, I definitely just said all of that, and he very well may be like, bitch, like, I don't know. She's not sure. Sorry, there's a little
Look at the
levity
time,
for
gotta
everybody. Right.
It's like, well, this was fun. I gotta go. I'd say there's sort of just like a moment of silence before you feel him plant his lips on yours. It's not like a passionate kiss or anything. It's like a sort of like a gentle, caring kiss. And then after a few seconds, he pulls away and says, maybe it's best we leave it at that for now, then.
Storyteller.
Player.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, I mean, I think that, you tell me. I think that he says, I think it's best that we leave it at that Yvaine has already kissed him again.
Okay.
But if he's like, yo, calm down, she will come back to her senses. But I think that that was kind of the last. Unfortunately, that was like the last vestige of like holding back that she had.
Okay. I'd say he would let the kiss happen. But if like she tried going for anything past kissing, I'd say he'd like cut her off.
No, I think she'll kiss him, and then I think that she will just kind of place her forehead on his shoulder, and then she's gonna just kind of quietly weep. I hope he's wearing a black shirt. Wearing a black shirt, yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing a black muscle tee, but he is wearing a gray sweatshirt on top of that, so.
Oh, sorry. Oops.
And sort of like as she weeps, he just holds her.
Okay. So what's everyone doing downstairs?
Yeah. I'll say, Delilah, you still meditating in the basement?
Well, she was trying to, but it keeps getting interrupted.
That is true.
Someone
There
at the
are-
door. There's someone in the other room.
Yeah, there's drama and things happening and people walking in and out of the house.
Right. Yeah. She's gonna give up on meditating right now and maybe go track down some food or something.
Go on a hunt.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, and you gotta remember she used to only eat rats, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, so we can say you go and try and find somebody in the neighborhood or something.
Oh, that might work. Yeah. Okay.
And in that case, let's see what would be fitting. How about give me a Dex and Stealth roll?
Dex and stealth.
Okay. Yeah. Where's
Got it.
Dex?
I got it for you.
Okay.
Three successes.
Three
Okay.
successes. Okay. You find one of your neighbors' windows is open. And you sort of peek your head in and you see they're just like conked out in their bed sleeping.
Okay. I think she's going to is one of them snoring? Because that would, is it normal for whoever this is to be snoring or what?
As far as you're aware, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna crawl in the window.
Okay.
Because Nosferatu are kind of stealthy, and she's going to feed from the spouse of the lady next to him, assuming that that's actually who they are, and just kind of
Yep, we can go with that. Yep.
and just kind of satiate a little bit, then go back out the window.
All right, we can say you slake 2 hunger then,
Okay.
and you just creep your way back on out the window, feeling sated.
Yes.
She's back down to 1. So.
All right, Delilah is doing the best out of everybody in that regard, I think. Then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ephrem, you saw Delilah dip out for like 15 minutes and then come back.
Yeah.
The player only remembers meeting one other Malkavian, the Primogen.
You have met one other.
Oh, who was it?
A guy named Miguel Atia.
Okay.
Sorry, not Atia. Attilio. My apologies.
Oh, that guy. Okay. Yeah. That was the guy that delivered like a package.
Yes, you delivered a package from the Primogen to him.
Got it. Okay.
So you had a very like brief but sort of like semi-professional meeting when you delivered something for him. But he's the only other one that you've really interacted with. But he seemed like a pretty chill guy.
Okay. Then he's maybe going to try to feed again tonight.
Okay.
And then call it an evening.
All right, sounds good. Feed from the herd, or well, you've already fed from the herd tonight, so I think you gotta go hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, he may just he's probably gonna take an Uber home.
Okay.
So he may just start walking home and just see who he comes across.
All right. Then you are in Osiris, or are you a Scene Queen?
He's Osiris.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so then make me a manipulation and subterfuge roll.
Alrighty.
Plus fame if you have it.
4 successes.
4 successes.
And I don't think I have fame. I do, actually. I have a dot of fame, so...
Okay, then you can roll in... I would say, then you can roll 1 additional die if you so choose.
That's
okay. 4 successes, plenty. Yeah. Especially, like, if you... like, once you get, like, close to the club where basically everybody knows who you are, easy enough to find an adoring fangirl.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my god, are you DJ Blackout?
Don't tell anyone; they'll be all over me.
I'm so sorry.
He's still got his hood up and everything. He's like, yeah, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Deborah.
Deborah.
You can call me Debbie, though.
Debbie. I like you already. What does she look like?
She looks like she's maybe like late 20s, early 30s. Sort of like tuft of curly red hair, couple freckles.
Okay.
Looks like she has a slight gap in her teeth. Bright green eyes.
Complete ginger. I don't want to drag this out too long. Yeah, he is going to take her to his spot and chat with her and then make his move.
All right. Chat her up as you do, and then you just lay it on, and you may slake up to... Well, you can slake however much you want, really, but you can slake up to 2 without causing her medical problems.
He's going to take the 2, so that brings him down to 1.
All right, sounds good.
And usual lick the wound. He's gonna kind of just help her stand up, kind of lead her back to the bar, wave over one of the bartenders and be like, cranberry juice for this girl, please. And the server's probably not used to hearing please. If they recognize him. But
yeah, I'd say if you sort of move the hood slightly or sort of like dip the sunglasses down, then they'd be like, oh, okay.
And he's going to help her onto the stool, and he's like, you're a very special person, Debbie.
It's really sweet of you to say. As she takes the cranberry juice.
Just have a sip of that, and vaya con Dios. And he will slip away from her.
Okay. And she sort of like looks somewhat confused as she sips on the cranberry juice. All right, Scully. I know we've left you hanging for a bit.
It's okay.
You've been anything else going on with you? You have not heard back from Yvaine as of yet.
Well, she's in the woods. She's just like picking off animals every now and
just
again.
culling the population.
Yeah, Gotta get the hunger back up. But yeah, that's about what the rest of her plans for that night are. You know, checking in with like work and properly being like, yeah, I'm out sick, that kind of thing. And besides that, I mean, she's mulling over what the fuck happened because now it's like I'm not sure if this is avoidable. But yeah, alone time in the woods.
All right. Sounds good. Everyone needs that sometimes.
Yeah, let's all go and have some alone time in the woods.
Yeah. Let's just get away from it all.
No more of this.
All right. Yvaine, anything else?
Hi, what? Do you mean like in general or like that night of what's happening or what?
Any, all of the above?
I don't think she would do it. Well, she needs to set up a meeting. But by set up a meeting, I think it's more so like she wants to go to Elysium, and she wants to, my God, she wants to speak to the prince, whose name I always forget.
Rosalind Wolf.
Right, it's Wolf. She wants to go speak to Prince Wolf.
All right.
Yeah. So, what? I don't know if this makes sense to do it that night or like real quick the next night.
I'd say we can do. I mean, yeah. You know, I'd say it would probably make the most sense to do it the following night.
Okay.
Just so you know, you got time to clean yourself up a bit.
Right. It's not just like snotting blood and everything.
Yeah, bloody tears and snot.
Bloody
and all
snot.
That.
We had that last week. Bloody snot bubbles.
Right. She's like, I'm taking a page from Ephrem's book.
Yeah.
Which, just real quick, I want y'all to know that I literally watched the stream at like 7 a.m. in the morning in the hotel because I was like, what happened? Because everybody was like, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Watch it.
Pluto was like, murder has occurred. So that's what I woke up to.
Murder.
But so the next night, I think, which I will say this, I do think that nothing happens. I think she does ask if Hassan will just kind of like stay there with her as like a friend, as like support.
Okay.
I think she's kind of afraid to kind of be alone with herself, and also I don't think she feels like she can go and tell like the coterie what went down with her sire just yet. And I also think she's afraid of seeing Ephrem, if I'm being quite honest, because I'm imagining that she probably asked Hassan like to explain like what all happened.
Yeah,
and then
I'd say he.
out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'd say he would have filled her in.
So I think that she's like,
filled her in.
Oh my
No!
God.
No!
Oh no.
I don't have my stream rated for sex.
it's Vampire the Masquerade. What are you
That's
doing?
fair.
I think that there's a part of her that's just like wondering, does Ephrem blame her for not being there? Not that she really thinks she could have done anything, right? She quite literally is not a fighter, and that has been very apparent. But there's that feeling And she wonders, like, I wonder if he will blame me for not being there because something horrible has happened. And then she's also wondering, it was my idea to have Merrick ask Reyes to allow us to go into Ward 2, and now Reyes is fucking dead. So does Merrick blame me as well? I think those are two very strong things that are in the back of her mind. So I don't even think she knows Ephrem's there right now, unless Hassan mentioned, hey, by the way, Ephrem's downstairs.
Yeah, he would have relayed that information for sure.
Then essentially the next night she's going to rise as early as is possible, and very quickly she's gonna very quickly go. She is trying to avoid Ephrem and also Delilah, because I don't think she can field questions of where were you? Yeah. And she'll also just send a page back to Scully, just things are tough right now, but we can meet maybe in a day or so. I have something I need to take care of. But she wants to go to Elysium. Unannounced. Talk to the prince.
Sounds good.
Or try. I'm tattling. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, you show up. And
she's in her revenge fit. I'm joking, kind of, but no, she's gonna get herself as presentable as possible. I don't think normal people are able to just go up to the top floor typically, right?
Not typically. You could try and make a case for it.
Do I see the sheriff there? Or is he eating his wounds? I don't think he got that wounded, if I remember correctly.
I'd say he is here. He got he got a bit hurt, but compared to some of the other people, he didn't get nearly as bad.
She's gonna go okay, wait. First of all, does she see Frey here at all?
I will say definitively she does not see him.
Thank fuck. She will go straight up to the sheriff.
Ms. Mallory.
Sheriff Boyd.
Yeah. And he sort of turns to look at you, and you see he sort of just has burn marks across the side of his face and neck.
I think again, she's not back to her normal how she acts. I'm be so honest. So she's just kind of staring at him unblinking, and she's going to say, I need to speak with the prince. Are you able to help me do so?
That depends on what you need to discuss with the prince. You were not present for the events a couple nights ago, so I doubt it is about that.
She will. Okay. Is she able to just kind of tell off the dome? Is he kind of prying a little bit to see why the fuck she was not there?
You can
he's being snarky.
You can tell that there is a bit of curiosity there, being well, the rest of your coterie was there, but you were notably absent, so what's up with that? But he's not outright saying that.
Then Yvaine will, and this is so wild, but she's just going to keep staring at him. And she'll cross her arms and she'll say, Is that an issue? With the raised eyebrow. It's not as though I'm a fighter. And I did my part to help make sure that there was a plan in place.
This is true. But that does not cover the issue of what it is you wish to discuss with the prince.
Does she need to tell him what she needs to discuss with the prince? He's not her secretary.
That is true. Technically, that's the seneschal, but he is like basically if the seneschal's her right hand, he's basically his her left hand. So
then she'll just say, I wish to discuss both the events of what happened with Lorcan, and also some future information. Is that enough to satisfy your curiosity?
I suppose it will be up to the prince as to whether it's worth her time. So let us go.
Okay. She will essentially not even wait for him to turn around. She's being such an asshole. Oh, I'm so sorry. But she's not going to even wait for him to turn around. She's going to walk to the elevator and she's going to just push it.
All right.
And then she'll push the floor once they get in.
Okay. You head on up. And
And she'll just kind of remark while they're going up without looking at him. I'm just like, well, that looks like it hurt.
I felt worse.
I'm sure.
But it was unpleasant, yes.
And then, yeah, we'll just ride all the way up.
Alright, you ride all the way up. And,
She's pushing it. Maybe.
yeah. And, it opens at the rooftop floor, and, Prince Rosalind Wolf is looking over downtown, by the railing, a glass in her hand, and, she, turns to, look in your guys' direction as the elevator slides open, and Sheriff McCoy walks ahead of you and says, "My prince, Yvaine Mallory, would like to discuss some topics involving the deceased Magar and other mysterious things of note."
What an asshole.
And she says, "Is that so? Thank you, Aiden. Ms. Mallory, if you will."
Okay, she will walk forward. She'll walk forward. You said Rosalind's just kind of like overlooking the city with this little glass barrier looking over, or with the glass of blood wine. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But like as you as the two of you sort of like get out of the elevator, she takes a few steps back and takes a few steps in your direction.
Okay. Is the sheriff just gonna chill here?
It appears he is just going to chill here, yes.
God, for fuck's sake. Okay. Excuse my language. Aiden, come on, man. I do think that she kind of looks to see if the sheriff is just going to stand there. Um, and if he makes no move to do anything, but he's just like, and I'm posted up here, then she's just gonna kind of shrug it off and walk towards the prince.
And that is basically what happens.
God, what are you worried about? She could easily kill me. Come on. She will give a slight, like she'll give like a respectful bow to the prince. Just say, Prince Wolf, thank you for being willing to meet with me briefly.
Of course. So, I hear Lorcan has met his final death.
Yes, that seems to be the case. And I'm sure that we are all much better for that.
We certainly are.
Damn. God, how to broach this subject? The prince is a little bit scary because she's unreadable. Regarding the investigation, I'm sorry, I think she's going to start off with, your time is obviously quite precious, so I'll get straight to the point. Regarding the investigation, regarding the plan enacted, the brief alliance set up to make this as successful of an operation as possible, and also regarding such ventures in the future. I have a query that I would like to discuss with you. Obviously, my clan is not officially taken in by the Camarilla. However, you have allowed myself and my sire to be within your city. And she refers to it as Rosalind City, even though, yeah, there's an anarch presence and everything. A little ego stroke that never hurt anybody. And I'm sure it's of no surprise for anyone to hear that Frey has interest in being a bit more integral in the workings of what happens in this city.
Yes, he does certainly see himself as a power player. But your point?
A power player, maybe. And she kind of gives a shrug. This is so wild. Sorry, this is wild for me because this is a very different demeanor than Yvaine's ever kind of worked with. And she goes, a power player, maybe. Good for the city. Able to follow orders. Able to get the job done. I would argue that that's perhaps more debatable. I would even argue that perhaps his aspirations are too lofty to be of use. And she's gonna stare at the prince. And see what the prince's reaction to that is.
And you see that her expression itself does not change, but she says, interesting. And by raising this point, I am assuming that you think you can do better than he. What do you have to offer?
I think Yvaine closes her eyes for a moment. And when she opens them again, there is a very grim determination that's just kinda burning in her eyes right now as she looks at the prince. And I think she kind of in like a, what is it called? A symbolic gesture,
Mm-hmm.
places a hand over where her beating heart would be.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, for all of my time in this city, it has become increasingly evident to me that not only can I do what Frey can do, but perhaps I can do it even better.
That does get her to cock an eyebrow.
And Yvaine will keep going. I'm nervous. Tiara is nervous. Because she might be vaulted over this railing in a second, y'all. And she might not be here for next season. But Yvaine will keep going, and she'll say, Frey is good with words. Sure. That in and of itself can be helpful, but not if you consistently rub all potential allies and colleagues the wrong way. And not if your aspirations become bigger than your usefulness. I want to make sure that, what's the right word here? Tiara is being so careful, speaking in the third person. My heart's beating fast. I have shown not only can I work with the members of the Camarilla, but I can also procure advantageous situations for us outside of dealing with the Camarilla. And I like to think I'm a hell of a lot easier to get along with than he is. And my goals for my aspirations are simply to make sure that our stay in this city remains firmly in Camarilla control and with all threats eliminated.
Interesting. I do admire the ambition. And you have proven a reliable sword up until this point. But it is not simply up to me, or is... It should not be simply up to me, as of yet. I would get in the good graces of some of the members of the Primogen Council. And if enough of them rally in support of your claims and your skill and ambition, then come back to me.
Okay, can I wits insight the prince?
Sure. What you trying to get a feel for?
I feel like, right, like the prince is saying, like, okay, maybe I'll let you throw your hat in this race if you can get a little bit more support. But she kind of wants more of a feel for, like, is this truly piquing Rosalind's interest? That Yvaine is, one, willing to be like, that other dude, fuck him, I'll be your girl. Or like what? Like, because she knows that, like, if Rosalind does actually find interest in this move that Yvaine is making, especially when she was like, her knees were knocking last time when she had to talk to her, then like she'll know that like perhaps she really does have a chance at this, because people can say things, but they are all vampires, and a lot of them are very capable at lying, so so this could also be like, I'm gonna get fucked. So she's just really trying to gauge like the actual interest that Rosalind has in this little power play. Damn! I got 5 fucking successes. That's my
Dang.
that's my whole pool.
All right. You gather that she's intrigued by a couple different things. One is your change of demeanor since the last time you two had a discussion. And also you gather that she's maybe almost impressed at your audacity to go behind your sire's back to make a power play like this.
Maybe she sees a little bit of herself in Yvaine. Oh, God. Okay. Cool. I think Yvaine just kind of bows again and says, "Your words are understood, my prince. I thank you for your time."
Of course.
All right.
You may see yourself out. Aiden, if you would linger for a moment.
Okay. And she's gonna walk past the sheriff. She'll turn around. Does she notice anything from the sheriff? Does he seem surprised? I'm just curious.
He's a pretty stonewall kind of guy. He sort of seems to express a sort of like passing interest in being like, oh, we'll see how this goes, I guess.
Yeah, I will say, like, she seemed pretty, like, just kind of calm and polite when she spoke to the prince. When she turns around to leave, that dead fish look is back in her eyes as she just walks past him to go to the elevator, and her mouth is just in a grim line.
All right, you walk to the elevator, get in, push the button to go down, the doors close, and that is where we will end tonight.
All right. That was good.
All right.
Ahaha! Crazy, right?
Well, yeah, vampires,
All right.
Yep.
Thank you. That was an awesome game.
Thank you.
And we will wrap up for tonight. We'll save plugs and all that just check out the channel. You'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
And
We got stuff. We got stuff
got-
going on.
We got stuff. Yeah. So we're gonna wrap up. Good night, everybody. Please give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you here for another game soon.
And
Good
we
night.
love you.
We love you.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you for being here. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.